practice, but is willing to go wherever God decides for him. Will you please give a hand for Joshua Adams?
Imagine yourself, a young, handsome black man. Imagine you're walking through a store. No big deal, right? Now, imagine you're still that young, handsome black man walking through the store, except now you're holding hands with a white girl. You're getting all the cheers, all the jeers. You're getting all the stares. Now, take away the white girl and make it a little white boy. Now, imagine the faces of all those people. Imagine the sheer panic. You can almost hear their heartbeat. You can almost see them dial 911 on their phone. Now, imagine their face when that kid calls you dad. Now you see, ladies and gentlemen, we're not just talking about a blended family, we're talking about an interracial family. Now, we're going to highlight what it means to be a blended family and the struggles that can come to pass. We're going to talk about an interracial family and what you can go through there. We're going to talk about a few solutions and suggestions and what it means to be interracially blended. Now you see, that's my family. A quick story. Actually, two very short stories. The first one is when my wife and I were dating. We went to a movie. Now, I don't know if she heard or not, but I heard, is he dating a white girl? I don't believe in that. What did I do? What did I feel? I was a bit upset. I was a little angry. But I went on with my day. Now, a different day. I was with my eldest. We went to a restaurant. He had to go to the bathroom, so he went. And all I hear is, why is he with him? All I see is stares. Like it's something out of the ordinary. Now, this made me extremely angry. But what did I do? I kept going with my day. These are just a couple of challenges. These are internal challenges that you're going to face as an interracial family, as a blended family. Now, what is a blended family? When someone with or without kids marries someone that does have kids. As you can see, it's a picture of the Brady Bunch. Mike and Carol and their whole bunch, and Alice too. They were growing up the example I had of a blended family. They both came with baggage. They both had 3 kids, and that's even more baggage. But what did they do? They kept going. But now, I want to highlight just a few of the challenges that occur in a blended family. Acceptance, roles, traditions, legality, co-parenting, step-siblings, half-siblings. Let's start with acceptance. It's important for the kids to accept whomever you're bringing home. Who here has seen Cinderella? Lady Tremaine, the wicked stepmother. That's the stereotype we all know. She said, clean the stairs, the floors, the chimney, give Lucifer his bath. That's what many people go into families thinking. Is your stepdad horrible? Is he mean? Is your mom okay? What's going on? So the first thing you need to do before you say I do is make sure they are compatible with your children. Not just you, because their lives matter too. Traditions. Actually, rollers. Now, as you saw, I have 2 kids. One's 10, the other's about to turn 6. The 10-year-old was the man of the house for a while. Even now, I'll hear, Uriah, you need to do it like this. You need to do that. Then I come along. And now, the role he had as the man of the house has been pushed to, you gotta be the kid now. And so he's in an adjustment period with that. The youngest is the youngest. His role does not change. My role changed. I went from being a single guy to having an immediate family. He went from being not only the eldest child, but the guy in the house. Now he has to learn how to just be a kid. He has to learn to take a step back and listen and understand and learn. And he doesn't have to tell his little brother what to do anymore. Traditions. In my family, we'll occasionally open a present, one present on Christmas Eve. Maybe another family opens all their gifts on Christmas Eve. Maybe they don't touch anything till Christmas Day. Maybe they wait a week later till everybody's on vacation and go see family, and then they have their Christmas celebration. It's important to know what these traditions are, because there will be an immediate clash. Co-parenting. The dreaded co-parenting. Now we're looking at not only a step-parent, or maybe a step-parent on the other side too, but the biological parent, assuming they are still involved. We're looking at, how do we make this work? How do we split time? How do we get along for the sake of the kids? Because that's what we have to remember. I may not like you. You may not like this person. But we need to work it out for the little ones that are watching us. Because the truth is, we can't force them to choose between. We have to let them know that they are loved, regardless of if mom or dad lives over here, and now I live with stepdad or stepmom. They are loved by everybody now. Half siblings and step siblings. Well, as you saw with that picture of the Brady Bunch, they're all step siblings to each other. Now, they didn't always get along, they didn't always hatch schemes. They argued, they blamed each other. And to some extent, you're gonna get that with brother and sister anyway. But with them, with any joining families, they need to be accustomed to each other. They need to be used to being around each other, where you're gonna get a lot of personality clash, a lot of territory clash. Half siblings. This one's tough because you're there, you have your mom and your stepdad, everything's great. All of a sudden you hear, in a few months, you're gonna be a big brother or sister. Now, what does that mean for you? It can mean excitement. It can mean dread, because now I don't get all the attention. And one of the sad facts is, oftentimes, whether it's purposefully or not, the stepchild is pushed to the side a little bit for the biological child that came along. Because now you have somebody that looks like you, somebody with their blood running through your blood running through their veins. It's not always a purposeful thing, but it's a natural thing. And going into a relationship like that, you have to be aware that that can happen, and you have to remember to treat that other child like they are your flesh and blood. Because otherwise, you're just hurting them. Now, these two quotes came from a single mother in the middle of blending her family. Are my kids going to be treated differently than yours? As I just said, that has to be a concern. Otherwise, what are you doing this for? It's given me more hope for my kids' future now that they have a positive, strong male role model that they have been lacking for a few years. Now, the first one, great question. You have to be ready for that. The second one, you have to be aware of that too. Why? Because the person you put in front of your children is going to be the first person they're seeing in the morning, the last person kissing them goodnight. You want them to be positive. You want a little boy to grow into a man, not just another guy. You want a little girl to grow into a woman who knows her worth, not just some girl that you see. So what are our solutions? Understanding roles, traditions, counsel. Understanding. Help the kids understand that they are loved no matter what. Help the kids understand that no matter what's going to happen, you're still there for them. Understand that this is a big change. Whether you're moving 1,000 miles away with them, or you're just getting married, it's a big change. Understand how your kids are feeling. Understand that they will react, but you need to have understanding. Roles. It's a big change, especially for that oldest one, right? So what you're gonna do is, you're gonna talk to them. You're gonna say, it's okay to be a kid. I know you've been taking care of your mom for a while, and that's really good. You've done a great job. Now let me help you. Don't knock them aside and let that be that. Walk with them, teach them, because you're still going to be that prime example. Traditions. You know, depending on the traditions, maybe you do open one present on Christmas Eve, then the rest on Christmas morning. Maybe you'll have a couple presents on Christmas, then the rest you don't touch until you go see your family the next week. Compromise. I'm sure we've all heard that before. Compromise is key. Counsel. It's helpful to go and meet your local marriage and family therapist. Loads of information, but not all information. It's healthy to seek counsel from someone. Maybe they've been through it in some capacity. Maybe they were that child. Maybe they had children. But seeking counsel, wise counsel, is going to be quite important. Now, what is an interracial family? When someone from one ethnicity marries someone from a different ethnicity. Now, we We look at Heidi Klum, we look at Seal. Beautiful family, beautiful. But they've gotten their share of issues. They've had criticisms. They've had to deal with different cultures, divorce. And even the children can be a problem. But first, we're going to look at those criticisms. As you heard in my stories earlier, I don't believe in that. You don't believe in what? Two people being happy? Culture. Coming from Ohio, I'm a black man, I'm an American, that may be quite different from your Texas, Caucasian, very rural upbringing. And then you throw in the fact that your skin color is different than mine. Wow. You have some clashing cultures right there. Children. You have somebody of a mixed race. Well, what are they? Are they black? Are they white? What are they? Where do they fit? That's the issue. Just so you know, we're going to isolate divorce a little bit. Mixed race couples are 13% more likely to divorce. We're also looking at, there was also a study about a 10-year gap. Mixed couples are 41% more likely to divorce by the 10th year compared to 31% of those of the same race. Those numbers are disturbing, but it all comes back to culture and criticisms. We're going to look at how to defeat that a little bit later. Solutions. Culture, once again. I want you to understand my culture. I want you to understand I don't feel very comfortable in an extremely rural setting where there is no house for 3 miles. Or maybe I listen to Tupac and Carrie Underwood. I want you to understand, maybe I feel really uncomfortable around police. But I also have to understand the opposite for you. It's about understanding each other. It's about me taking my culture and giving it to you, and you taking yours and giving it to me. And we make something beautiful. Understanding. It's all wrapped together. Understand that just because I'm uncomfortable doesn't mean I think the problem is you. Understand that I love this doesn't mean you have to. Understand that just because your uncle doesn't like me and he can't actually tell you why doesn't mean the issue is with you. And we're looking at blending. What are we blending? We are not just blending our cultures, we are blending our lives, our hearts. We're blending our relationships with God. And that's gonna be key. We're blending our children. And we have to find out where do they fit so that they can know where they fit. Because if a child comes out and they're half black and they're half white, well, maybe he really does like Tupac and Carrie Underwood. Maybe you can't stand Tupac and listen to Shania Twain all day. But that's okay. It's not about if he fits with the black people, he fits with the white people, he fits with people of Hispanic descent or Asian descent. It's about where does he fit in your family? Is that your child? Yes. That's good enough for me. That goes back to those criticisms. You're gonna hear, well, your child looks like this, so he must be a this. No, my child is a human being. Your child is a human being. And that's what's gonna matter. A couple more quotes. One, the top one is from that same woman that was blending her family. The second is from a young white male, Republican upbringing, very, very conservative, middle of Ohio, all white friends in school. Now, married to a black woman, and they have a little boy. It's pretty awesome, I think. Look at the first one. The stairs were hard at first, but instead of making me sad, I feel angrier than anything now. I've heard people say, it's just not right. I've heard that too. Made me extremely mad. But you know what? Sometimes it's better not to say something. And then on the other side, one unappreciated advantage is having to enter into the marketplace of ideas. Love that right there. And confront your own bias and understanding of certain issues every single day. Now before, I mentioned maybe I'm a little uncomfortable around the police. Well, you look at the news, you look at the statistics, you can understand why. Maybe you don't. That's great. But don't fault me for the way I feel. Now, this man here was all wrapped up in what he saw at first until he started living more on the other side of it. And that same marketplace became very real to him. In a brief conversation with him, he told me about the comments he's heard, even in his own family, the way it made him feel. And the things he always wants to do. He also told me how he wants his son to have great examples of black men growing up. He wants his son to be somebody, not just another little black kid, not just another little white kid, not a mixed kid. A good one, a great one. So this guy has come a very long way from where he used to be. Interracially blended. This is where we wrap up all those neat little things. Learn from one another's cultures. It's not just about you anymore. It's not just about them anymore. It's about the joining of both of you into one life. Prepare yourself and your family. Now this one is two-pronged. One, you want to prepare your kids for when you're bringing that new person home. Oh, he's so cute, I just love him. Or, I think I'm gonna marry that girl. But they have to have a say as well. Prepare them for what this is gonna look like. You know, you've been doing a great job with helping mommy out. But now you don't have to do it as much. I want you to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do. Make sure you're getting your good grades. Make sure you're saying your prayers at night. Ignore. That's been a hard word for me. Ignore, ignore, ignore. Ignore the negativity. What does that mean? Those people saying, it's just not right, I don't believe in it. Did he kidnap that boy? Ignore it. Because the truth is, there's no real solution for it. You can't make anybody believe what they don't want to believe. You can't make anybody do what they don't want to do. Ignore it, because that's the best you can do. Just live your life. Live your best life. Forget them. Seek counsel. I said this one earlier, and I'm going to bring it back up. Wise counsel is important in your life. Church leaders, trusted family, trusted counselors. They are important in your life. Otherwise, you're just kind of hoping for the best. Establish new traditions in your family. You know what? We use Christmas already. Let's take it to Thanksgiving. You eat ham. I eat turkey in my family. Maybe we compromise. Maybe we have a little bit of both. We just don't buy a big 20-pound bird or whatever ham comes in. And instead, you get a smaller one of those, and you enjoy both. It won't kill you to enjoy both. Now, my last little thing is Ephesians 5. 1:5, excuse me. This verse talks about God wanting us to be in his family. It talks about we're all adopted. We're all from somewhere else, but he loves us just the same. He predestined us for adoption to sonship through Jesus Christ in accordance with his pleasure and will. Now, I don't know about you, but that makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I have a place I belong. It makes me feel like my children have a place to belong. Regardless of what they look like, where they come from, God loves them anyway, and so should I.
Any more questions?
Yep, a few minutes for questions. Yes.
Someone coming for premarital counseling in violation of what would be your first advice? Number one advice you give?
Well, first, I'm not giving advice. First thing I'm going to ask them, what do you know about where he comes from? What do you know about where she comes from? I want to know how much they understand about each other's cultures, because that's going to be really important to understanding how they're going to succeed. That longevity is going to matter when I see that they're growing in understanding of each other, their families, their friends. That's going to be really important. Anyone else?
I have a question. So how would you work through a situation, so I can imagine in a family that's blending, that they've got their traditions that they already had, and in a scenario where they're pretty different and nobody wants to budge, how would you help them kind of work through that situation?
Okay. I would ask them to see it from the other side first. I don't know if you know about the whole 69 thing, but it's a 6 to you, but it's a 9 to me. So what I'm going to say is, look at it from a different perspective. From my perspective, I feel like you don't wanna just move over. I'm not saying give up your traditions. I'm just saying move it over a little bit. And you know what? It's the same exact thing for the other person. It's always about point of view at that point. I want them to see that though their points of view are different, they still want those traditions. And I want them to say, well, you know, well, maybe we don't have to string all the lights up. Maybe we can put one Santa and 2 reindeer instead of Santa and all 8 reindeer. Because but in my family, my house was always just, you can see it from space. So I think that's key to understanding what that means to each other. What does this tradition mean to you? What does it mean to me? And go from there.